Welcome to Destiny of Cards. Today we'll be doing a deck profile of the Narukami deck, updated from GPT-09. It's gonna be Eradicator fused with Draconic Vanquisher hybrid deck. So basically the main structure of the deck will be in Eradicator, but with some support from Vanquisher itself. So Vanquisher will be your alternate Vanguard, while the main will be one of the Eradicator, which mainly boosts from GPT-09. So basically, this is going to be our starter for this Eradicator deck. So basically, when the attack hit, while this card is boosting a Eradicator, you may pay the cost, Counterblast 1, put this card into the soul. If you do, retire one grade 1 or lower you regard on your opponent's field. So this is one of the battle cards that you can actually retire one boosted unit of your opponent. Yes, one of the booster at the back, which is quite irritating, that Narukami that usually cannot hit. So this will be a very good card for you to pressure your opponent and yet clearing the regard at the same time. So basically this card is going to be the main for first Vanguard. Next, we will move on to the grade 3. So since we are mentioning this is Eradicator deck, of course we are running Eradicator Draconic Descendant. This is one of the Kai Toshiki's ace card from GPT that was boosted in BT10 and then now reprinted with the alternate art in GPT-09. With this reprint art is in a triple R with an alternate art. So which art will you prefer? Let us know in the comment section below. Okay, so basically back to EDD. So the effect is a limit break 4. If the attack did not hit your opponents, and you may pay the cost, which is Counterblast 1, choose 3 Eradicator card from your hand and discard them. Then if you do, stand this card and this card gain critical +1 until end of turn. So basically this is a very good restando and a pressuring card. So next, activate skill. As special Counterblast 2 Eradicator, this unit gain 5000 power. Okay, so it's a good limit break card. If you can't strike, you can use this card to pressure your opponent. Okay, so you have a lot ability. Next, since we already mentioned, the alternate Vanguard is Vanquisher itself. So Vanquisher itself is basically our GB2, which is your Gallop Buster skill. So plus 3k and 1 critical, but it's a GB2 version. Yeah. So the next is Counterblast 1 when you strike a unit over this card, and then you choose one of your opponent's front row and retire and bind it. So this card is really very important to having bind cards in your opponent's bind zone, because the ace card of this set is known to you guys as the GR VMAX. Next, we will run grade 2. We run 4 copies of our 12k bit stick. So this is Eradicator 12k attacker. Next, we have the new card from GPT-09. Okay, so what's this card's effect? So basically, when your Eradicator Vanguard declare an attack, you may pay the cost, Counterblast 1. So this card plus one other regard gain 4000 power. So you having this card at 4000, you having another card also at 4000. So maybe you can choose its booster so that you have 8000, forcing your opponent with 15k guard. Or you can actually power up another unit 4000, or you can even give to the descendant that's declaring an attack. Okay, so next card we run will be our 10k base Eradicator 10k attacker. So this is our vanilla monster of the deck. Next, we run 3 copies. Okay, so this is the most irritating card that most people dislike during, especially when your opponent call this during a grade 2. So this card cannot attack the rearguard. That's the continuous when it's in the rearguard circle. So in the rearguard circle, it gains 3000 when it's declaring an attack, and it also gain the skill. When the attack hit the vanguard, you may pay the cost counterblast 1. If you do, choose one card, draw one card, and then also choose one card in your opponent's bind zone, drop zone, and bind it face out. Okay, next we'll go to our grade 1. The deck run 4 strike folder of the deck. Okay, so when cards called to the rearguard circle from your hand, choose you can reveal a grade 3. If you do, search your deck for a Vanquisher card. So basically you can add your Vanquisher to hand. Then next, if you do add a card by this effect, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So next, of course, is a strike folder skill, so it's +2 grade. So it's a grade 3 strike. Next, we run 4 new cards from GPT-09. So this card is basically similar to the grade 2. So when your Vanquisher declare attack, you may pay the cost. When your Descendant declare attack, you may pay the cost. Counterblast 1. Choose one other unit +4000, and this unit +4000. So yeah, it's a very good 8000. So next, this is a power based deck, so to take note, we're running 4 Perfect Guard. This is unflippable Kanzen, so if you have another copy in the drop zone, you can unflip counter charge 1. Now we move on to the trigger layout. So basically the deck run 8 Eradicator critical trigger, 4 of the Vanquisher critical trigger. Also, when your Vanquisher declare an attack, put this card in the soul, it play 5000 power, and you draw a card. Next, we will run 4 copies of Eradicator Heal trigger. Next, we will be talking about the strike unit. The deck run 4 copies of Vanquisher Voltage. So main phase skill, choose Voltage in your G zone face up, you'll gain the skill. You'll gain 2 skill basically. So one of the skill is actually the rare strike skill. When this card's attack hit the vanguard, your opponent choose one of his or her rearguard and retire it, and you choose 2 cards from your opponent's bind zone, drop zone, and bind it face up. Okay, so the GB3 skill is for each card in your opponent's bind zone, your front row unit +3000. So do the math, and it's a continuous skill. Next, since this is an Eradicator deck, this deck runs 4 copies of Zilean, True Eradicator Draconic Descendant Zilean. So basically, Zilean's skill is when you main phase, you pay the cost. Okay, so the cost is flip itself face up. Okay, so face itself face up, and again a skill. When this card's attack did not hit, you may pay the cost, counterblast 1, so blast 2, and discard 3 cards from your hand. Do take note, you do not need to discard Eradicator. Okay, so it's a very good thing. Okay, so you stand this card. Okay, so it's one of the restando of the meta. So this is right restando for Narukami. Next, we run 2 copies of Conquest Dragon. So Persona flip itself. So and then you retire one of your opponent's front row unit. Then for each opponent's front row rearguard, front circle rearguard is empty, you get 5000 power to all your front row unit. So if both are empty, you get 10,000 to your full front row. Next, we run 1 VMAX itself. So VMAX skill is Thunderstrike GB3 and Thunderstrike 5. At the end of the battle that is attack, you may pay the cost. Counterblast 2. At the end of the battle, if the number of rearguard on your opponent's field is 0, you may pay the cost with Counterblast 2. Deal 1 damage to your opponent's vanguard. Yeah, so imagine he has 5 damage and you just deal him 1 damage, game over for him if that is not huge trigger. Next, when this card attacks the Vanguard, for each copy of in your G zone face up that's named Vanquish Show, you may choose one of your opponent's rearguard circle. Okay, and this card battle the Vanguard and all the chosen rearguard circle with 1 attack. So yeah, imagine you have 4 voltage that's face up, mean you can choose up to 4 rearguard circle and battle those circle and also the Vanguard at the same time. So yep, so even you can't use that shooting skill, the Thunderstrike 5 skill, you still can use the clear board skill. Both do not have a hard restriction. Next, we have 1 copy of Seabreeze, since we're going to have Vanquish Show and some. Okay, so basically the whole deck, there's only a Vanquisher that is actually GB1. So yeah, we're having this card inside the deck just because we can strike first and have a triple drive earlier than opponent if they say they great lock you. So basically the deck is not really afraid of great locking because it's running a Draconic, it is Thunder deck, so it's mainly based on damage zone. So yeah, this is there as a filo. You can actually have 2 VMAX if you want to, since if you do not want to like strike to gain the additional hand size. Next, we will go to the G Guardians. First, we run 1 copies of Light Element Aglim. So when this card is called the Guardian Circle, you may pay the cost, which is discard 1 card. You do draw a card, so it's a hand changer. Next, we run 1 Demise. This card is very useful, especially in a mirror match with Narukami. If your opponent is going to VMAX you, just call Demise and protect 1 your rear guard. Your field will not be empty. So yeah, so and VMAX skill will not be triggered. So this is a very good counter card. Next, we run 1 copy of the previous G Guardian, Thunderstrike 1. This card have shield plus 5000, which is quite easy if you actually strike Vanquisher and your opponent do have a front row unit. Next will be the new G Guardian. So basically the new G Guardian is Thunderstrike 3 that shield plus 10,000, so it's basically a slight boost. With Thunderstrike 3 you get actually 10,000 shield, making it a 25,000 shield. Okay, so the second effect is what makes it useful. When this card is called the Guardian Circle, for each 4 card in your opponent's bind zone, choose one of your opponent's front row rested unit at the end of the battle, of course. Then retire those chosen unit. So it's a very good skill to use to retire your opponents at the end of that battle. That when you call this Guardian, this card to the Guardian Circle. So yeah, you can actually clear both his front row that is rested at the end of the battle if you have 8 cards in your bind zone, which is unlikely for this deck because this deck is a Eradicator base deck. So yeah. So we hope that you enjoy today's deck profile of the hybrid version of Vanquisher and Eradicator Draconic Descendant deck. We hope that you like today's deck profile of our first part of our first episode series of this entering GPT-09 mini series. So do post your comment in the comment section and do like and share this video. Until next time, see you.